This woman you see right here may seem harmless to you, but she is in fact one of the most horrible people to exist. Here's why. Her name is Taylor Schabusiness, a murderer who killed her own boyfriend, Shad Therian, later mutilating and sexually assaulting his dead body. After finding Shad's mutilated head in a bucket, Shad's mother immediately called 911.
Are you positive my son's head is in a bucket?
What makes you think that?
Because I looked in the bucket.
What did you see?
Exactly what I told you.
Telling the police what she saw, and she doesn't know where the rest of the body is. The police then arrive at the scene and are shocked to find bloody footsteps all over the ground.
Is this blood? Does this look like blood to you?
After investigating, they see the human head dumped in a bucket and call their superiors. Taylor is then arrested, and the police find the rest of Shad's mutilated body around the house. Investigators later described that they found pieces of human flesh and mutilated body parts at the crime scene, which belonged to Shad. During interrogation, Taylor reveals that she choked her partner Shad until his face turned purple and admitted that she was enjoying it. She then sexually assaulted Shad's dead body for a few hours before cutting it into pieces and disposing of it off in her van. While in court, Taylor can be seen laughing and smirking during her own murder trial, showing no remorse for what she's done. Charged with first-degree murder, mutilation of corpse, and third-degree sexual assault. Despite the horrifying nature of her offenses, Taylor later attacks her lawyer in court until she's stopped by the officers. It took 2 officers to subdue her, and she was later brought into court wearing a spit mask and shackles. Despite the gut-wrenching murder of his son, Shad's father proceeds to forgiving Taylor for her crimes, and also tells her to get out of prison soon, leaving Taylor herself shocked.
Taylor, I just wanted to say that I forgive you for what you done to my son. Yeah, you made a bad choice.
The next case we'll be talking about is equally dreadful as the first one. This man named Andrew Worth, who faced double homicide charges. According to reports, Andrew ended up shooting an off-duty police officer named Jennifer Lewick and her boyfriend after Jennifer had grabbed Worth from behind at a bar in Jefferson. Worth was offended by this, and he ended up in a violent argument with Jennifer and her boyfriend Greg Peters. After things got out of hand, Worth pulled out a gun and shot Greg thrice, third of which hit Jennifer in the chest. Witness Scott Trader said that Jennifer was alive at first and asked to call 911, but suddenly collapsed and was declared dead later.
The man with the gun told him to quit being so stupid.
Witnesses say Lewick ran back in, yelled for someone to call 911, then collapsed by the bar.
However, the defense later argued in court that what Worth did was actually self-defense, as he was threatened by Jennifer and her boyfriend, as he had complained about being touched, and he was left with no choice but to use a weapon and defend himself. Worth was initially charged with 2 counts of intentional first-degree murder, and his bail being set at $1 million. This is when he started acting up and exploded. He was grabbed by a couple of officers and dragged out of the courtroom, and later brought back to the court with his legs in shackles and his wrists handcuffed to his waist. Worth was ultimately convicted of murder and negligent use of a dangerous weapon, sentenced to 10 years in prison. Camia Gamet, also known as Camia Gamet, gained notoriety for the brutal murder of her boyfriend, Marcel Hill, in Jackson, Michigan, USA, in 2014. The case attracted significant media attention due to the gruesome nature of the crime and the circumstances surrounding it. Gamet was convicted of first-degree murder for repeatedly stabbing Hill with a steak knife in their apartment. Prosecutors argued that Gamet had a history of violence and abusive behavior towards Hill, and they portrayed the murder as a culmination of their tumultuous relationship. During the trial, Gamet's defense attorneys attempted to present evidence suggesting that she acted in self-defense, claiming that Hill had been abusive towards her in the past. However, the prosecution countered these arguments with testimony from witnesses and evidence indicating that Gamet had a pattern of violent behavior towards Hill. In response to her sentence, Gamet made a disrespectful comment directed at the judge, prompting Judge McBain to express his outrage and frustration.
You were relentless. You stabbed, you stabbed, you stabbed, you stabbed, you stabbed until he was dead. I agree with the family. I hope you die in prison as well.
We have no choice but to send her where she will also die. I can't believe she stands before you doing this morning.
In 2014, Camia Gamet was found guilty of first-degree murder, and she was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The case raised awareness about domestic violence and the complexities of abusive relationships, sparking discussions about the need for better support systems for victims and the importance of early intervention to prevent such tragedies. Franklin Williams gained attention in 2018 for his unusual behavior during his trial in Cuyahoga County, Ohio, USA. Williams was representing himself in a complex case involving multiple charges, including aggravated robbery, kidnapping, and theft. During the trial, Williams repeatedly disrupted proceedings with bizarre and nonsensical behavior. He made outlandish claims, including asserting that he was the sovereign citizen ruler of the United States and that the court had no jurisdiction over him. Despite the judge's efforts to maintain order and assist Williams in conducting his defense, his behavior continued to escalate.
And they came and took all my property out my sale today.
Mr. Williams, I'm the judge in the matter. Shut your mouth, and I'll tell you when you can talk. You got it? It's the same rules we played by.
Frustrated by his behavior, the judge told Williams to keep quiet, later ordering the officers to close his mouth with duct tape. Ultimately, Williams was found guilty on all counts, and he was sentenced to 47 years in prison. His case served as a reminder of the complexities and challenges associated with self-representation in court, as well as the importance of ensuring fair and orderly legal proceedings. Bass Webb gained infamy for his involvement in the murder of his girlfriend, Bria Rooney-Witz, in 2009. Rooney-Witz's body was discovered in a rural area in Kentucky. Webb was arrested and charged with her murder, as well as several other crimes. The case attracted significant media attention due to the brutal nature of the crime and the circumstances surrounding it. Webb had a history of violence and had been involved in other criminal activities prior to Rooney-Witz's murder. During the trial, prosecutors presented evidence linking Webb to the crime scene, including forensic evidence and witness testimony. Despite maintaining his innocence, Webb was found guilty of murder and was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The Bass Webb case highlighted the complexities of domestic violence and the devastating impact it can have on individuals and communities. It also underscored the importance of thorough investigation and prosecution in bringing perpetrators of violent crimes to justice. Bass Webb's behavior in court during his trials was marked by several disruptions and outbursts. Some of the notable incidents include: Number 1. Outbursts and disruptions. Webb often interrupted proceedings with outbursts, shouting, and disruptive behavior. He would sometimes make inappropriate comments or gestures, leading to frequent admonishments from the judge. He spit in the face of the judge during his hearing.
Can you hear what you're saying?
Yeah.
That be yes?
Yes.
There's no way I'm going to try this case or have any further proceedings, or I have to see you for one further second. Set the preliminary hearing for next week.
Number 2. Jail riot. When in the cell, Webb began throwing stuff here and there, threatening the officers with his wild behavior, and started a jail riot while in custody. Number 3. Threatening gestures. Webb appeared in court for his most recent hearing with a sinister tattoo on his head, which read off the names of all the people he wanted to kill next. The list included all the officers, judges, and attorneys that were dealing with his case, along with 3 rats that were crossed off from the list. Number 4. Attempts to delay proceedings. Webb employed various tactics to delay his trials, including filing frivolous motions and making baseless allegations against court personnel. Overall, Bass Webb's behavior in court was disruptive and combative, complicating the legal proceedings and adding to the challenges faced by the justice system in educating his case. That's all for today. If you enjoyed these videos, please give us a like and subscribe to our channel for more amazing content. and I'll see you guys in the next video.